There are moments when just a single glance can silence the entire world around you. No words are spoken, no promises are made, yet something quiet and ancient moves deep inside your chest, as if your soul has recognized something it has always known. It happens in stillness. Two eyes meet, and a story begins to unfold, not through language, but through a hidden current that lives beneath it. The truth is, eyes don't just see, they speak. They speak in a language older than memory, a language your soul was born knowing. When you stand in front of a mirror, what you see may seem ordinary, a color, a reflection, a familiar gaze. But if you pause, if you truly look, not with your eyes, but with your presence, you'll sense something much deeper. Your eyes are not simply organs of sight. They are portals, symbols, maps of your inner world. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychiatrist and the father of analytical psychology, once said, "The soul always communicates in images." And among these images, few are more personal, more revealing than the color of your own eyes. Every shade, brown, blue, green, gray, amber, or black, carries its own vibration, its own myth, its own signature. This is more than genetics. It is an imprint of your soul, a mirror to the archetypes that live quietly beneath your everyday identity. And when you meet someone's gaze, what you truly encounter is not just them. You meet your own reflection in their soul. You meet your wounds, your longings, your hidden power, long before your mind can explain what your heart already knows. Every color of the human eye carries a story that began long before you were born. It is not an accident. It is not just a detail of your biology. It is a silent symbol, a key to the hidden patterns of your soul. Carl Jung believed that symbols are the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. They are how the soul speaks, how the invisible becomes visible. And the eyes, the most powerful image of them all, hold the deepest, quietest truths. Think about how many moments in life are shaped by nothing more than a glance. A first love that began without a word. A stranger who felt familiar for no reason you could explain. The trust you gave without being asked for it. The fear that rose even before danger showed its face. This is not magic. This is the unconscious recognizing itself. Before the mind has time to explain, the soul already understands. That is why eye contact feels both intimate and terrifying. It pulls you out of the surface and brings you face to face with what lives beneath. Every shade, brown, blue, green, gray, amber, black, vibrates on a different frequency. Each one holds an archetype, a timeless pattern that carries both power and story. The mother, the visionary, the alchemist, the sage, the instinct, the magician. Each gaze is a code, a mirror, an invitation to meet a part of yourself that words can never fully describe. When you look into another's eyes, it's not just them you're seeing. You're meeting your reflection in their depths, your hidden fears, your buried dreams, your unspoken truths. And that's why the eyes can build a bridge between two souls without ever making a sound. Among all eye colors in the world, brown is the most common. And yet, what is common is often what people overlook. But the soul never chooses anything by accident. Brown eyes carry the energy of the earth itself. Warm, steady, nurturing. They hold the archetype of the mother. This is not about gender. It is about an inner force, the part of the human soul that knows how to protect, how to hold space, how to keep others safe, even in silence. When you look into brown eyes, there is often a calmness that can't be faked. It's the kind of presence that feels like home, a quiet strength that doesn't need to prove itself. People with brown eyes often become the anchor in the lives of others. In moments of chaos, They are the steady hands that don't shake. They listen before they speak. They hold before they judge. And their love is rarely loud. It's quiet, patient, enduring. In relationships, brown eyes often express love through consistency rather than grand gestures. They build trust brick by brick, day after day. Their way of loving is like a slow-burning flame, steady, lasting, gentle, but powerful. You may not even realize how much strength they give, until everything else falls away and they're still there, holding on. But there's another truth hidden beneath this strength. Because they are so dependable, the world often forgets they also carry their own pain. They can become the ones everyone leans on, yet have no one to lean on themselves. They give endlessly until their soul grows tired. If you were born with brown eyes, remember this. Your gift is to nurture, to protect, to stabilize. But your soul is not here just to hold others. You are also here to be held. Even the richest soil needs sunlight, rain, and rest to stay alive. If someone you love has brown eyes, look deeper. Do not mistake their calmness for simplicity. Do not take their strength for granted. Inside them lives a quiet depth, a timeless patience, a love that endures when words fail. They are the keepers of warmth, the silent guardians of safety. So the next time you meet brown eyes, pause for a moment. Feel the earth beneath that gaze. Feel the mother archetype, the embrace that asks for nothing but gives everything. And quietly ask yourself, what part of me longs to be held like this? And what part of me is ready to hold others with the same quiet strength? Blue eyes have always carried a quiet kind of magic. For centuries, people have admired their beauty, their brightness, their resemblance to the sky and the sea. But their true meaning lies far beyond appearances. Blue eyes are windows to a soul that is constantly reaching for something higher, something just beyond the visible. They hold the energy of the visionary, the dreamer who sees what others cannot yet imagine. When you look into blue eyes, it often feels as though their gaze is not fully anchored to the ground. It stretches outward, upward, beyond the ordinary. These are the eyes of people who live with one foot in reality and the other in the invisible world, the world of intuition, dreams, and quiet longings. They notice details others overlook. They sense possibilities before they exist. They often feel as if they are walking between two dimensions, the seen and the unseen. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious speaks through images, and blue, the color of the sky, the heavens, the limitless horizon, is the image of transcendence. It represents the part of the human soul that dares to wonder, to question, to believe in more than what is in front of us. People with blue eyes often carry this gentle intensity. Embente see a blend of hope, and distance. They crave depth, but they also crave space. They want to be understood, but not caged. They want love, but also freedom. In love and connection, blue eyes often reflect a longing for something extraordinary. They don't fall for surface-level affection. They're drawn to soul-level bonds, conversations that stretch until sunrise, silences that speak louder than words. They are romantics and seekers, even when they appear quiet. And that quietness isn't emptiness. It's the sound of their soul listening to the world. But there is a shadow here too. Because they carry their gaze so far beyond the present moment, people with blue eyes can sometimes seem distant, unreachable. They can lose themselves in their own inner world, and others may misread their silence as disinterest. In truth, they are often traveling, not across distance, but inward, exploring landscapes no one else can see. If you have blue eyes, your gift is your vision. You see possibilities where others see walls. You sense hope where others see endings. But remember, even the sky needs the ground to hold it. Anchor your dreams in reality, not to limit them, but to let them grow roots strong enough to last. And if someone you love has blue eyes, look closer. Their silence may not mean they've turned away. It may mean they're listening to life, to love, to something ancient and invisible. They are not cold, they are vast, and somewhere in the quiet space between their gaze and your breath, a forgotten part of you begins to stir. A small, delicate dream, maybe one you buried long ago, slowly opens its eyes again, as if reminded that it too is meant to live. Maybe as you listen, you're already picturing the color that has followed you your whole life. Brown, blue, green, gray, amber, black. Each one carries its own secret. If you'd like, share yours in the comments. Not just the color, but the feeling behind it. There is something about green eyes that words will always fail to fully capture. Yes, they are rare. Yes, they are beautiful. But their real power lives in the silence between what can be explained and what can only be felt. Green eyes are not still waters. They are rivers, alive, moving, unpredictable. They hold the energy of the alchemist, the soul that transforms everything it touches. When you look into green eyes, there's a magnetic pull, subtle, yet impossible to ignore. They invite you closer, but never surrender too easily. They hold both warmth and fire, calm and storm. It is as if they are carrying two worlds inside them, one that embraces you and one that dares you to grow. From a Jungian perspective, green is the color of transformation, the living bridge between earth and sky. It carries the tension of opposites, instinct and spirit, chaos and clarity, longing and restraint. Those who have green eyes often live inside this duality. Their souls are restless not because they are lost, but because they are becoming. They are always shaping themselves, melting the old into something new. These people feel everything deeply, sometimes more than they can express. They can sense the unspoken currents in a room, feel emotions like weather shifting through their bodies. Their presence can awaken parts of you didn't know were sleeping. Old wounds, quiet hopes, secret fires. And when they love, they don't just touch your heart. They transform it. They burn through illusions, strip away masks, and leave only what is real. But there is a weight that comes with this fire. When unbalanced, their intensity can turn inward, becoming storms they don't yet know how to control. They can love too hard, feel too much, fight invisible battles no one else sees. Yet it is in these very storms that their greatest gift is forged. Because the alchemist is not defined by the fire, but by what they create from it. If you have green eyes, your soul carries the art of turning pain into wisdom. You know how to hold contradiction without breaking. You are the bridge between what is and what can be. Your restlessness is not a curse. It is the spark that keeps your soul alive. And if someone you love has green eyes, remember, behind that gaze lives both tenderness and fire. They are not simply looking at the world. They are changing it from the inside out. Their love can be both shelter and storm, and those who meet their eyes are rarely left unchanged. And somewhere in the quiet, after their fire touches yours, something inside you softens. A piece of you, long hidden, long silent, begins to breathe again, as if their gaze had reminded it of its own power to rise. Grey eyes rarely shout for attention. They don't glitter like gold or burn like fire. They rest quietly at the edges of light and shadow, holding something the world often rushes past: stillness. They carry the energy of the sage, the quiet observer, the soul who listens before it speaks. At first glance, grey eyes can seem almost undecided, neither dark nor light, neither day nor night. But the closer you look, the more you realize they are not undecided at all. They are thresholds. They are the space between two worlds, where silence becomes language and stillness becomes meaning. Those with grey eyes often carry a calm that can unsettle the noise around them. While others rush to speak, they listen. While others run, they stay. They have a gift for sensing the quiet patterns beneath chaos, for seeing the thread that connects things before anyone else does. Their gaze is like a mirror that does not judge, only reflects. In the language of Jung, grey represents the balance between opposing forces. It is not the absence of colour, but the blending of everything, the shadow and the light, the beginning and the end. People with grey eyes carry this quiet wisdom. They know that truth doesn't always arrive in thunder. Sometimes it appears in silence, waiting for the world to be still enough to hear it. Their way of loving is steady, thoughtful, deliberate. They don't give their hearts away easily. They take time to understand, to observe, to feel what lies beneath words, and once they do, their loyalty is unwavering. It's not loud or fiery. It's quiet, like an eternal flame that doesn't need to be seen to keep burning. But this stillness can be misunderstood. Because they don't reveal everything at once, others may call them distant, detached, hard to read. In truth, they are simply living at a slower rhythm, one that moves with the tides of intuition and insight. They are not unreachable. They are just deep. If you were born with grey eyes, your gift is your clarity. You see through illusion, not because you want to control, but because your soul is built to perceive patterns most people miss. You hold the wisdom of thresholds, the quiet strength that comes from standing between what was and what will be. And if someone you love has grey eyes, know this. Their silence is not emptiness. It's a language. A place where trust is earned slowly, where love is built on truth, not performance. Their presence is not loud, but it is steady. They are the ones who remain when the noise fades away. And somewhere inside that silence, if you're patient enough to stay, something in you begins to settle too. The chaos softens. The noise inside quiets down, and without even realizing it, you find yourself breathing in rhythm with their calm, like waves meeting the shore. Amber eyes are rare, rare enough that when you meet them, something in you pauses. They do not simply reflect the light, they seem to burn with it, like embers hidden beneath the surface of the earth. Their glow is warm, primal, alive. They carry the energy of the instinct, the part of the soul that remembers the wild. Amber is the color of flame in its most intimate form, not a raging fire, but the steady heat of something ancient. When you look into amber eyes, it can feel like standing close to a quiet fire on a cold night. There's a pull that bypasses words, a presence that moves beneath thought. You don't just see these eyes, you feel them. People with amber eyes often move through the world with a kind of intuitive knowing. They can sense things before they're spoken. They can read the room without needing to explain how. Their instincts run deep, like roots reaching into forgotten soil. It's not about logic. It's about something older, quieter, a language the body remembers long before the mind catches up. Carl Jung spoke of the unconscious as a place of instinct, where our most ancient energies live. Amber eyes seem to hold a thread that connects back to that primal core, the part of us that survived before words, before structure, before the world was civilized. These souls don't just experience life, they feel it in their bones. They move by sensing, not forcing, and that is their gift. But instinct is powerful, and power must be guided. When untamed, this fire can become a storm, impulsive, restless, too wild to be contained. People with amber eyes can love fiercely, live fiercely, and sometimes burn too hot for those who stand too close. But when they learn to balance their fire, their energy becomes something extraordinary, a force that heals, protects, awakens. Their love is not lukewarm. It's magnetic, raw, unfiltered. They crave connection that is honest, alive, real. They want to feel the pulse beneath your skin, not the mask you wear. Their presence has a way of stripping away what's false, leaving only what can survive in the heat of truth. If you were born with amber eyes, your gift is instinct. You carry the pulse of something ancient, a fire that doesn't ask for permission to burn. Your task is not to dim it, but to guide it, so it warms without destroying, so it lights the path without consuming it. And if someone you love has amber eyes, you will know it not through what they say, but through what you feel standing near them. Their energy doesn't ask to be understood, it asks to be felt. It is raw, alive, unapologetically real. And somewhere in the warmth of their gaze, a sleeping part of you begins to awaken. Something wild stirs beneath your calm surface, a soft reminder that you too were born to burn bright. Black eyes are different. They don't simply reflect the world, they seem to absorb it. Unlike other colors that shimmer or shift, black eyes are like deep water at night, drawing everything inward. Their gaze is both mysterious and grounding, like standing at the edge of an abyss that isn't empty, but infinite. They carry the energy of the magician, the soul who walks with both shadow and light. When you look into black eyes, it's not just a glance. It's an invitation, or perhaps a challenge, to see what lies beneath the surface. They do not reveal themselves easily, and that is what makes them unforgettable. Their presence changes the atmosphere around them. Even in silence, they seem to speak. Carl Jung described the unconscious as the well of all hidden energies, a realm of shadow, mystery, and creation. Black eyes are like a direct thread to that realm. They hold not just memories, but possibilities. They mirror the space where beginnings are born and endings dissolve. Their depth can feel overwhelming to some, magnetic to others, and utterly unforgettable to anyone who has ever truly looked into them. People with black eyes often carry a quiet power. They don't need to demand attention, it happens naturally through the gravity of their presence. Their emotions run deep, even if their faces remain still. Their souls are vast, not because they are cold, but because they carry more than words could ever express. But this depth is a double-edged blade. If left unexplored, their shadows can consume them, turning power into control, silence into distance, devotion into obsession. But when they walk with awareness, when they meet their own darkness instead of fearing it, something extraordinary happens. They become creators of reality. They turn their shadow into light. In love, black eyes do not play with fire. They are the fire. They love with gravity, with intensity, with a loyalty that feels ancient. Their love is not a passing spark. It's a vow whispered in silence, a bond that cannot be easily undone. To be loved by them is to be seen completely, even in the parts you hide. If you were born with black eyes, your gift is depth. You hold the power to transform darkness into creation, fear into strength, endings into beginnings. Your silence isn't emptiness. It's sacred ground where worlds are built in quiet. And if someone you love has black eyes, don't try to explain them. Just stand close enough to feel the gravity they carry. Let their stillness speak its own language. It is ancient. It is powerful. It is real. And somewhere within that darkness, your reflection begins to appear. Not the surface you show to the world, but the self beneath everything. A hidden part of you that recognizes their depth, because it has always lived inside you too. We've walked together through the quiet language of the eyes, from the warmth of brown to the infinite black, from the vision of the sky blue to the restless green, from the silent wisdom of gray to the wild flame of amber. Each shade, each gaze, Each quiet glimmer is not just a detail of biology. It is a story, a vibration, a doorway. Carl Jung once said that the soul speaks through images. The eyes are perhaps the most personal image of them all. They do not lie. They hold our archetypes: the mother, the visionary, the alchemist, the sage, the instinct, the magician. Through them, the unconscious speaks long before the mind has time to understand. That's why a single glance can make you trust, fear, love, or remember. That's why silence between two souls can feel louder than 1,000 words. When you look into someone's eyes, you are not simply seeing them. You are meeting your own reflection in their depths. Their fire awakens your fire. Their calm mirrors your stillness. Their shadow touches the places inside you that you've long kept hidden. In every gaze, the soul recognizes itself. Brown eyes remind us of home, the steady ground, the quiet embrace. Blue eyes lift us upward, inviting us to dream. Green eyes stir transformation, waking both the storm and the light within. Gray eyes teach us the beauty of silence and balance. Amber eyes burn with instinct, reminding us of what is raw and alive. And black eyes, they lead us into the mystery, where endings and beginnings are born in the same breath. But no single color defines you. Each of us carries all these archetypes inside, even if one shines more brightly through our eyes. We are earth and sky, storm and flame, light and shadow. The soul is not a single color. It is a spectrum, shifting with time, shaped by every love, every loss, every quiet awakening. So tonight, when the world finally grows still, stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes, not with judgment, but with reverence. They have carried your entire life inside them. Every joy, every sorrow, every silent promise. They are not just yours. They are the language of something eternal. And one day, when your gaze meets another's and everything else fades into quiet, you will know. It's never just about them. It's about the part of you that has been waiting to be seen all along. In the end, the eyes are not just windows. They are mirrors. And through them, the soul remembers its own name. And if, somewhere along this journey, something inside you stirred, a memory, a dream, a quiet recognition, then this space was meant for you. If these words found their way into your heart, let them keep echoing here. Share your thoughts below, not just as a comment, but as a piece of your own story. And if you wish to walk this path together, slowly and deeply, don't forget to subscribe, so we can keep meeting again in the quiet spaces between words.